Before I joined 12 by 12, I had a local writing community. I had a critique group and local friends, but most of the people that were in my daily life were novel writers, not picture book writers. And I really wanted more picture book people in my life. And it was the beginning of when I was starting to feel more comfortable interacting in that way online. And that's when I joined 12 by 12 and immediately found the community I was looking for. That was it for me. It wasn't so much the challenge, because truth is I've never written 12 in a year. It was more the community that came with the challenge that drew me in the first place and has kept me coming back all these years. When I joined, I was already on submission with a few items and wasn't really getting a lot of traction, but through 12 by 12, I actually signed with my first agent. She's no longer an agent. She left the business, but that made a huge difference for me. When I was with that agent, we sold this book here, Flying Deep. So that sale happened within a year of me joining 12 by 12. So that was the biggest change right there. And once I was published, then more things started to happen for me. And I have a new agent now who is frequently a 12 by 12 agent, actually, who I love. He's a perfect fit for me, so that's great. His name is James McGowan. But I've continued to love the community of 12 by 12, and I feel like now I still learn from 12 by 12. For a long time, the webinars were like a really big source of learning for me, and I've been really busy lately and haven't always watched every webinar as much as I want to, but I've also feel like I've shifted now where I'm trying to be someone who gives a lot back to the community, maybe even more than getting learning now at this point in my career. I'm teaching in an MFA program now, and I'm doing a lot more to try to help those coming up behind me because I really want to help nurture the next generation of diverse writers and creators. And another thing that I've been doing in 12 by 12 is I facilitate craft and creativity book discussion that happens in our private forum. And I love that process of interacting with other people about the books that we're reading together. And I learned tremendously from just the reading by itself, but also interacting with other writers and thinking deeply about the craft of writing in general, picture books specifically. So that's another thing that I love about 12 by 12. So since I joined 12 by 12, I now have two books. I have Flying Deep and Diving Deep, which came out just this year. I have two more picture books in the pipeline that are already sold and not yet announced. And I have a middle grade nonfiction that's coming out in 2024. And that was a super exciting book to write. I got to go out on an expedition with Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution. I was in the North Atlantic for 3 weeks. So most of my writing thus far all is very steeped in STEM writing and in particular about the ocean. I'm very passionate about the ocean.